Hey bro, hope you're riding and traveling well. This video is not about how to ride a bike, it's about how to ride a bike properly. If this is your first time to the channel, I've been riding a bike for over 25 years and over 1 lakh kilometers of my mileage is from outside city limits. Let me start with a question. You see an obstacle while riding, you close the throttle and press the clutch completely without applying the brakes. Will the bike slow down? It will not. Because the moment you close the throttle, your engine will start to do the reverse of what it has been doing till then. The same engine which used its rev to accelerate and make you faster, the moment you close the throttle, it will start using its rev to slow you down. If you press the clutch completely, what you're doing is you're disengaging the wheels completely from the engine and you will not slow down instantly. So instead, you will almost maintain the same speed, or sometimes you will go faster if you're descending. So this is called engine braking, and unfortunately half the traffic on Indian roads do not know this. Let's start with starting the engine. I've seen a lot of folks, they first open the throttle and then fire the engine, and some people go one step further. When they stopped the engine the day before or the last time, they haven't put it back to neutral. The bike is still in first gear, and with first gear, they press the clutch completely and then start the engine and continue revving. See, you should not be doing any of this, because when you do this, the first thing you will do is you will be burning your clutch plates. And when you do this, especially during a cold start, when your engine hasn't gotten enough engine oil lubricating it, you would be harming the engine as well. Make it a practice to use the engine kill switch. So it's very simple. Just turn on the keys, wait for some time, turn on the kill switch, and then press the start button. Don't open the throttle, don't press the clutch, because some bikes, they will not start if you press the clutch, and there's a reason to it. Push the start button and the engine will start and idle. One of the most abused component of a bike is the clutch. A lot of us are so used to, impulsively use the throttle and the clutch as a toggle. The moment we close the accelerator, the hand automatically goes and presses the clutch completely. See, the problem is prolonged misuse of clutch will lead to lower power, lower mileage, and above all else, more wear and tear on vital parts of your power unit, and you will have to replace them, which is obviously going to cost you a lot. Now let's see how to use the clutch effectively. So I'm pressing the clutch, turning it to first gear, not touching the accelerator, but I'm slowly releasing the clutch. Look at what happens. So once I release the clutch, I'm not touching the accelerator, and without pressing the clutch or the accelerator, the bike keeps moving at a constant speed. Some lower cc bikes might not move at RPMs closer to idle. So in that case, slightly ring the throttle. Don't over rev it, but slightly ring the throttle and it will start moving as you release the clutch. Now that you know how to get a stationary bike to move, let's get to shifting gears. In this video, you could see that I'm making upshifts without touching the clutch. This technique needs a bit of a practice, but eventually you will get there. See, some modern bikes come with this thing called quick shifters, which automate this, but with practice you can make smooth clutchless upshifts, and in turn it increases your clutch life, and above all it will have a smooth and a comparably rapid power delivery. But still, you will need to use the clutch to move a stationary bike. Even if you're not doing a clutchless upshift, understand that you need the clutch only to move from one gear to another. Don't develop this habit of pressing the clutch unnecessarily. Now we've started a bike and got it moving. Let's get to the fun part, acceleration. Once you master using clutch, more than half of acceleration is already taken care of. So it's time to take a look at what's called a tachometer. Simply put, it's the number of rotations your engine delivers to the crankshaft every minute, RPM in short. For example, my Dominar 400 delivers 36 bhp at 8000 rpm. The idle rpm is around 1400. So what happens is, when you open the throttle, the engine produces progressively more power until it reaches a peak power output, which is at 8000 rpm in my case, after which the rpm limiter cuts the power down and it comes crashing down. So as you open the throttle, you will feel that the power takes time to reach the rear wheels. So So the idea is to open the throttle in a way it syncs with the timing it takes to be delivered to the rear wheel. If you open it too quick like a switch, you will only be wasting fuel. The idea is to get optimal delivery to your wheel, not instant delivery, because practically it is impossible. The speed is smoothly climbing up, but the RPM is around the same level. So put it short, you accelerate until you get to 70% of the RPM limiter, close the throttle, make a clutchless upshift, and open the throttle again. So that gives you the optimum power without wasting unnecessary fuel. You might ask, if the peak power is at 8000 RPM, why should I stop at 70% of it? You aren't racing a Formula 1 car or a MotoGP bike, are you? They get a new engine every few races, but we don't, right? See, the thing is, if you rev your engine too much too often, you get closer to seizing your engine much sooner. So keep it at around the mid-range, because that is optimal in street conditions, and once in a while you can hit the red line, but you don't have to do it at every stretch of open road. Definitely not in Indian roads. Let's get to the most important part, braking. This is one of the utmost parameter that makes a good rider. Have you ever wondered why do bikes have two different brake levers whereas cars have only one? That's because cars have four wheels and a much lower center of gravity as compared to bikes. So as a result, what happens is, if you are too aggressive on the rear brakes, you could skid, whereas too much braking on the front might end up throwing your bike over. That is the reasons bikes have separate braking system. Now, most bikes over 150cc come with ABS or anti-brake skid. To put it simple, even if you get aggressive on the brakes, it will not lock your brake pads. So you are a lot safer than riders who rode like 15 years back. Now the next question is, which brake should I use more? Should I use both equally? The answer lies in what you see. In all bikes with disc brakes, you can see that the front brakes are substantially larger than the rear brakes. So use more of your front brakes than your rears. But make sure you don't use only one at any given point of time. A good ratio would be 70 front and 30 rear. See, the 70-30 ratio is only a thumb rule and it keeps changing with respect to conditions. See, for example, if you're riding in wet conditions or if you're riding on a road where there is sand, you should be reversing it. So 70 rear and 30 front. If you can brake without activating the ABS and still be effective and stop the bike or slow down the bike where you want to, then you can pat your back, because you would be avoiding more than 50% of possible accidents. And try not to use the brakes as an on-off switch. Be progressive and smooth, and that is the most effective way of braking. I've just brushed the very basics of motorcycling with this video, and there are a lot more to it. See, for example, braking itself is a huge topic that demands a separate long video, and so is overtaking. Please leave a comment if you would like to see more riding skill videos. I would love to work on them in future. Some of the regular buddies in this channel might seem, what's up with this guy? He's moved on from travel destinations to bike riding. The thing is, when I was making the bike trip guide videos for Ladakh and Spiti, I was thinking, what's the point in guiding someone to an extreme long trip before sharing the very basic stuff about motorcycling? That was the primary reason for this deviation, and please let me know your views on the comments. I really respect them. And if you are a first time here, hope I've earned your subscription with this one. See you guys in another video. Until then, ride more, ride safe. See you, buddy.